Something you're going to hear us talk a lot about is experience. We've heard a lot about people saying you have to go out and work when you're in school. Please don't go out and expect your diploma or degree to sell yourself that job. You need to go out and get yourself some real skills and experience. That's what's going to get you a job. People know you guys are graduates and they want to hear that you did great while you were here, but they also want to hear about the things that you do outside of school. And that's really what's going to get you where you need to go. So to continue on to that, while I was here at Humber, I had some great opportunities from Christina Clements, and a lot of the professors here were fantastic. And as Christina mentioned, I ran the first OCMC blog, which has carried through, as I see, very nicely and given people some nice opportunities. So it's nice to see that growing. I also managed the Humber marketing pages and Twitter and Facebook accounts. And from that, I also was able to, of course, get into my job with Rich Media. So, to tell you a little bit about Rich Media, we are a leading edge creative development agency. So what does that essentially mean? Well, we are a leader in blending what we call strategy, creativity, and technology to give you a highly interactive digital experience. We actually don't focus in one particular area except for interactive. So what we do is your websites, microsites, and campaign sites, and I'll tell you a little bit more about some examples of some of those, but of course if you're launching a campaign, it might be short-lived, it might be long-lived. If I'm launching, for example, most recently you have your mortgage season just came up, so of course you've got all these banks going around saying, well, we've got this huge, we need to sell more mortgages, big plugs, so they're going to have little campaigns and of course have campaign sites that they want users to drive traffic to and of course gain some information about that particular campaign. We're industry leaders in tools and calculators. Anybody, for those of you who know tools, has anybody ever used an online tool or calculator, anything like that? Budget calculator, stuff like that? Do you find them useful? Yeah. Some of them, yeah, some of them not so much, right? Some of them are kind of run-of-the-mill. They look basically like what we would call white label. Well, we don't do those kinds of tools and calculators. We actually do very customized, highly interactive, so we don't do the run-of-the-mill. We're, again, blending that creativity, creating and focusing on a very interactive experience. What we've done now is we've taken user experience and brought it forward, and that's what responsive, adaptive websites are about, and that is actually where you're going to start seeing, like Sportsnet, all these major corporations, all these major players out there are going to start doing this with their websites, and that is the future and a huge, huge, huge part of what you guys are going to have job opportunities in going forward. Something again that I wanted to touch on a little bit is some of the key courses that that I actually really benefited when I left Humber. So account management, some of you, I asterished a couple of these because I think they may have changed. So professional selling, PC essentials, business law, database management, business management, services marketing, I think is consumer services now, and OCMC. These were huge courses for helping me in my account management path. OCMC, how to do sales presentations, be confident, be driven, understand your needs, and of course, analyze problems. Business law, of course, with legal, huge edge, knowing how to place trademarks, understanding what registered trademarks or where they might be needed. There's also the idea of database management. Sadly enough, it was called Computer Applications and Marketing when I took it. It was a killer course for me. I didn't love the idea of doing Weebly sites and Excels and complicated algorithms within Excel. Well, of course, what do I deal with now working with a client like Scotiabank? And even when Samsung gives us a SKU list for all their products in the store, what are those SKU lists are generated in Excel. So you have to know Excel, and you don't have to know how to do complicated stuff with Excel, but knowing how to use it is really key. Creative marketing, of course, IMC, is that still integrated marketing communications? Marketing planning, internet marketing, retail marketing, international marketing. I threw web design in there because nowadays there's an interface design component that people really want you to understand when you're in digital, as well as marketing research. Production side, internet marketing, IMC communications, creative advertising, media production, video production, animation, web interface, and graphic design. These are all courses that you may be able to take or that you could go outside and take. And I recommend that if you're going to get into our industry, these are the kind of areas you want to cover off, because if you can get in with some of these areas, you're going to see where your job will lean towards. If you're in the creative marketing, you could be in web design, interface design. You could be, has anybody got the goal of being a senior manager for a big corporation or a VP or a director? Anybody? Anybody? That is a slow, groggy crawl to the top, guys, and you start here. This is where it starts. Because as Carolina was saying, actually, it really starts from either the agency side or the client side. And if you start on the agency side, those clients are going to take you under their belt knowing that all those things that I mentioned here, you know. They don't have to train you on this stuff. That's a huge edge. This stuff you know already. So when you bring this to the table, you've got experience, the perfect blend of experience and education and skills training to go out and succeed. When I was out on the market, I spent 1 month looking for a job. Like many of our graduates, Humber has a great hiring rate outside of Humber, so when you're ready to go get a job, there's a lot of opportunities out there. Post, send, repeat, that's something that I did a lot of. So as I've heard a few times, Jeff said a lot, you go out there on Monster, on LinkedIn, on different platforms like Workopolis, and you push, cover letter, resume out there. Tailor your resume to who you're sending it to. Make sure your skills match. Make sure everything's written the way you want to. In your cover letter, showcase who you are a little bit and let them understand the kind of person you are. When you're looking at job specs online, I loved what Jeff was showing you guys because he's got a great point. A good job spec tells you everything about the company. If you don't see a good job spec, stay away because it means they haven't defined the role. So even if you go and work for them, there's a chance you're going to be doing things that you didn't really want or expect to do. Social media was a big asset to me because what I always say is social media really forces transparency. If I go online and I start researching a company that I'm not so familiar with, it's a small business, it's only in the GTA, and I start seeing bad user-generated content on their Facebook or their Twitter, what kind of a signal does that mean for you as someone who may want to work with that company, right? There's some flags that should shoot up there. Sell yourself, guys. Don't hesitate to call ahead of time. Make a friend, make a connection. It could be the administrative assistant that you see when you first walk in. It could be the person that's going to be hiring you at the end of the day. Don't hesitate to drive in, do that research. Who is the director of marketing at that company? Give them a call, send them an email. I'm going to be coming for an interview and I know you're going to like me. You better be there. And see what they say because you never know what's going to happen, right?